How about you go outside and then you zoom in? Go outside first. If you wanted to do the surface area first, and I would suggest you do the surface area somewhere down here, because it usually is the most time consuming, most work. Total surface area. What would you do here for surface area? Outside. How many of these do we have? These are rectangles, right? How many of those do we have? 3. So how about we say this? 3 large rectangles. Okay? Plus, what is at the top and what is at the bottom here? 2 triangles. Okay. How about we focus on the hole that we've created? What is inside here? Can you see it from here? This is the side. This is like looking into that hole. You've got what? Plus 4 rectangles. Would you agree with me? There's one right here, one right here, one right there, one right there. 4 rectangles. How about we just do that? We've added a bunch of stuff. You probably would have to subtract at some point, right? What are we going to subtract?
2 squares.
2 squares. Yes. 2 squares. So this one is kind of literally just recognize basic shapes and just do your thing. And I need to probably now add to your study sheet. Do you remember the area of a triangle? I don't know. That's my bad. I should have added that to your. I'm gonna go to my front. Maybe you just copy that down here. How about we all do it here and then you'll transfer it yourself. Area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. And by that I mean this is the base, this is the height, okay? So that's the area of a triangle. Area of a rectangle, length times width, yes. Where this is the length, that is the width. Add that to your study sheet like before you start solving this thing. So I'm going to let you, maybe in groups of 2, or if you want to work by yourself, that's fine. I'm going to ask you to try to figure this one out. The key, I'll tell you that the surface area, the TSA, you're supposed to get 1,015.91. And the total volume is 770.05 cubic feet. Maybe I'll help you one, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. A lot. Guys, do we know the height of this triangle? No. Can I ask you to do this right up here? What you need to do is you need to split this into a right triangle like that. That's going to give you that height of the face of that triangle. What's this going to be here? Yeah, divide that by 2. Yes. So what is half of this? Let's do mental math. 4.2. And what's this one right here? This one? 8.4. So you'll have to use Pythagorean theorem to use that one and plug it in there, right? To figure out the area of a triangle. Anyways, you've got somebody else or you've got me. Try to, oh, you can barely see that top part, right? Give this a try. It's all about figuring out areas, plugging in numbers, things like that for now, okay? So good work. You know, if it doesn't work out, I think the tendency is to be like, see, there we go. Please don't ever do that, right? Like have you ever assembled something and then you find out like partway through that you assembled it wrong and you have to like take it all apart? It sucks, but that's life. And so just do it, right? If this happens to you, this is not intended to be like, ha, you got the wrong answer, you don't know how to do it. This is intended to make you think of the different components that are part of this process. So if after today, you're like, oh, okay, I know where that came from. And maybe if you have more questions, that is also very acceptable, okay? So I will just do this here real quick. This one right here, if you want the height, you gotta go square root of hypotenuse squared minus this one squared. And if you're looking at the formulas in your study sheet, it calls for the length here divided by 2. I already have done that, right? The length is 8.4. I divided it by 2 to get 4.2. If you do that correctly, if you type this in, I will have that on my calculator because that helps, right? You can copy paste it later. So 8.4 squared minus 4.2 squared. I hit enter. I take the square root of that. Oops. What is wrong? What did you not like? Oh. Okay, let's do this again. I'm going to call the square root. I'm going to copy paste. So that's 7.2746. If you want to get full marks, and this is part of your work, I would not round it yet, okay? I would leave it like that. I would use all the decimals on my calculator. Now I know that part. So let's go and plug in what we know and figure it out. So 3 large rectangles. There's 3 rectangles that measure 29 by 8.4. Okay, so it's 29 by 8.4. Can't see that. Let's see that. Right, 3 of those plus 2 triangles. Its base. Oh, I see now why some of you got this wrong. I think this is where it is, so pay attention to this one. What is the area of this triangle? So once you find the height, you want to use this whole triangle. So the base is 8.4 times the height is 7.274 something divided by 2. Okay, that's the area of the triangle. So you want to go back to the large triangle. This is your base. This is the height. If you use this as your base and then the height, then you've only found half of the triangle, right? So we do this to figure out our height. Then we jump back to this big triangle, right? So we go plus 4 small rectangles inside, which is 2 times 29, right? It's 2 this way, 29 deep. Okay? Minus 2 squares, and each square measures 2 by 2. Okay, so it's basically 2 times 2 times 2. So here we go. This part, I did it differently, so I'm going to have to redo it. That's what you get if you deviate from the plan. 3 times 29 times 8.4, that's 730.8. I saw a lot of you having that. Can you look up here? Is it okay to cancel this and this? It technically is. So if you did that, that's fine. If you didn't, that's also okay. So I'm going to go 8.4 times, I'm going to go look at my height. So that's 61.106 something plus 4 times 2 times 29. 4 times 2 times 29, that's 232. minus 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Okay? And here's the last little bit. So I'm going to add what needs to be added. I'm just copying and pasting. Minus 8. Sorry, you can't see that. Minus 8. Sorry. Add, minus 8. It's 1,015.91 square feet. What happened, Philbert?
Okay, like, I got like the exact numbers that you got, I put it in, and that's why I got my number. I will try to make it a little bit.
Yeah. It's going to be a nightmare for me to mark your work. Because if you miss one little thing, I was like, I have to dig in there, but that's okay. I can deal with that. Please don't make mistakes like me. I don't even have an eraser anymore. Total volume. Volume of Prism minus another prism, rectangular prism. This is a triangular prism, rectangular prism. Do we have a formula for the volume of something like this? But can you do this here? What do we have at the base of this thing? Triangle. What's the definition of volume of a prism? Area of base times height. Because imagine, if you wanted to find the volume, you would stack a whole bunch of triangles. Okay? So we're going to go ahead down here. We're going to go area of triangle times height. Right? Minus, do we know the volume for this one? Length times width times height. Because it's just a rectangular. You know what? It's a square prism, really. Area of a triangle, we already know that. That's 8.4 times 7.27 something divided by 2. All of that multiplied by the height, which is 29. Minus the small, basically this hole, the square hole that I've created right here is what? 2 by 2 by 29. Okay? Back here. 2 times 2 times 29. So here we go. 8.4 times. Please tell me the height is somewhere available. There it is. Divided by 2. All of that times 29. That's 886.047 something minus 2 times 2 times 29. That's 116 exactly. So we just copy that number minus copy that number. 770.05. And we are in cubic feet. It's not easy. It's a lot of things that you need to consider. Okay, we're gonna go to page 21, and I'm gonna ask you to do 21 to 24. What's our time? Oh yeah, we've got lots of time. We're gonna take a little break from craziness. I mean, I'm not saying that 21 to 24 isn't difficult, but we're going to take a break here. So let's go there.